What's going on, Freehola here? I just wanted to make a quick guide on how to buy and sell on the flea market for beginners. So if you just hit level 10 or if you've never used the flea market before, to get to the actual flea market, you can either click down here at the bottom where it says flea market, or you can go into trading and click flea market. So this screen's gonna look a little intimidating at first, but we're gonna break it down and make it a little easier for you to use. So you have your three main tabs over here on the left. Your browse is going to be where you can look at all the various items on the flea market. You can use these little drop downs, or you can use the search here and type in whatever item you'd like. Your wish list is something we'll come back to in a little bit. That's something where you can save items that you either buy a lot or want to keep track of. Your my offers tab, that's going to be your things you have listed on the flea market. Right now mine has nothing because I don't have anything for sale. You'll have a 0 out of 3 here. Now what that means is you have 0 items listed and 3 items that you can list at a time. The way to get more items listed is by actually selling items. So the more you sell, the higher your reputation will go up over here on the right, and you'll be able to list more items. For example, mine is right here and I can list up to 4 items rather than 3. So to give an example, we're going to go ahead and buy something that's pretty common, a Salawa kit. So we can either type Salawa here and click on it that way, or we can use these drop downs and find it here, whichever you find more comfortable. Now you're going to be met with this screen here. Now to get to this main area, what you're looking at here is who's selling the item, whether it's a player or a trader or dealer, what's up for offer, what the price is, how long until it goes off of the flea market, and then your button to purchase. Now one of the first things you want to do is sort it by price. So you want to make sure it's sorted, the arrow pointing up, that's going to give you the cheapest price at the top. Now what you'll notice here is it's a little weird. It's not giving you a direct price, it's saying approximately. So what does that mean? That means that this person wants to trade the Salawa 2-pack to you for 1 sugar. Now what this is called is a barter trade. Now sometimes these can be useful, but a majority of the time, especially from other players, they're going to be essentially scams. He wants something that's worth a lot more for what he has that's worth a lot less. So to just kind of avoid this in general, my tip to beginners is going to be to just avoid this entirely. Don't do any barter trades for now until you start to figure out the market a little bit more. So to do that, to make it even easier, what we can do is we can actually go into the filters and we can remove bartering offers. So once we check that and we click OK, it's going to clear out all these for us. But I do want to take a look at some of these other filters that we have available to us. So you can sort it by, if you want to just only show offers that are up for rubles or dollars or euros, you can do that. We're just going to leave it at any. You can ignore these next two, the approximate price from and the quantity from, because I'll show you a little trick later on how to avoid this quantity issue. The condition, that's one that's really important. Now on this page right now, as you can see, all the ones listed here are 400 out of 400. But if we want to guarantee that and make sure we buy a brand new Salawa, we can actually put the condition here to 100. And then now from now on, every single Salawa we see on the list is going to be at perfect condition. This is really important when you're buying food items or armor, helmets, guns. You want to make sure they're in good condition, so you can set this filter up to whatever number you want to get the best deal. We're going to look here at display offers from. We're going to leave that at any, because whether it's a player or a trader, we want to get the best price, so we'll just leave that at any. Show functional items, or show only functional items, is one we'll come back to a little later when we're looking at guns. But for now, we're going to leave that blank, and we're going to check remember selected filter. So that way, every time we come back to the flea market, these filters are going to be up here. And we can remove filters by hitting the X, and we can re-add them by just coming back here, move bartering offers, condition 100, and click OK. So now that cleaned it up for us quite a bit. So now every single Salawa here is going to be at 400 out of 400. And they're all going to be for money rather than barter. So whether that be rubles, euros, or dollars, here in this case they're all for rubles. So now we have it sorted by price. We have a perfect Salawa. We're ready to buy. So So all you do here, you click purchase, you click yes. It's going to show you here how many out of how many you're going to buy. So for example, this second person is selling 5. So you can buy any number. You can buy 1 of them, 2 of them. It'll adjust the price accordingly. But we just want 1 for now, so we're going to click purchase here on this cheapest one. And look, we got an error. Sorry, the offer was already purchased. So what that means is somebody else was looking at Soloas to buy as well, and they bought that specific Soloa before we got to it for that price, which is fine. Once that happens, the game will automatically refresh the page for you. So now you have the new cheapest price available here up at the top. You can actually refresh it manually. You can do that by either clicking these 2 arrows that are circling each other or hitting the F5 key on your keyboard. So that's a good tip to do right before you purchase to make sure you're getting the best price. So we'll just go ahead and hit F5 and we're ready to buy, purchase. We just want 1, click yes, and we're good to go. We've got it in our inventory now. Now a Soloa is an item that, oh, you can do it with any item, but a Soloa is one that I purchase quite often. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to right click it in the flea market. I'm going to add it to my wish list. So now every time I come back to the flea market, rather than having to go through this list or search it, I can just click on wish list. And there we go, we got Soloas. And we can use the same filters, 100 out of 100, exclude bartering offers. And I don't have to go through the hassle of searching for it. So you can do this with any item. You can, if you buy a certain helmet a lot, you can add the helmet to your wish list and you're good to go there. So again, with this functional item filter, we're going to go ahead and go over that a little bit by using weapons as an example. So we're going to remove the minimum condition 100. We're going to go and use an AK as an example. Let's just use whatever AK we can get. Sorry, AK 101. Now as you can see, if you go and you look AK 101, this isn't a full AK. This isn't ready to go. Even though it's the cheapest price, we can't use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to check on that show only functional items, and now every single AK that pops up here is functional, ready to go. It may not be modded, but if you're not modding your weapons anyway, which I can make a guide on how to do that if you're unfamiliar with how to mod your weapon, you can get one that's basically ready to go. You just need a magazine, ammo, and perfect. So we're going to go ahead and purchase this one. Now, a good tool to use with the flea market is what's called a linked search. So we bought this AK, we don't know what ammo or what magazines go in this. So what we can do is we can right click it and we can link search, and it's going to give us exactly that, what parts can fit on this gun. So just to keep it simple, I need a magazine, so gear mods, magazines. I can go here, remove use the same filters just like what we had before, and buy a magazine, and now I can see what ammo I can use as well. So here, buy some ammo, 30 rounds for example. Now we can go here, put that fits, and that's a way that you can get something that you're guaranteed to have fit. So now we're going to focus on what we need to do to sell an item. So all we need to do is just click on add offer and see what item we want to list. Now the only items that you can sell are going to be items that have this little check mark on the bottom right that are items found in raid. Now what that means is it's either an item that you got from a quest, that you got from your hideout, or that you found in the raid. Now the exceptions to this are going to be items that other players bring in. So any armor, helmets, ammunition that you get from another player and survive with, they are not going to count. Items found in raid are going to include items from scavs. So any guns that you get from scavs or rigs, things of that sort, as long as you survive with them, will have the found in raid check mark, which means you can sell them. Anything you have in your secure container that you die with will not be found in raid. So these bolts, I found them in the raid, but I died with them, so they do not have the check mark, so I can't sell them on the flea market. Things you buy on the flea market also cannot be sold on the flea market. So if I want to add these bolts, the first thing I want to do is check the price of bolts. So the easiest way to do that is right click the bolts, filter by item, and it's gonna take us straight to the bolts page on the flea market, and here we'll be able to see the cheapest price. From here, we just click on the bolts, which if you have multiple bolts, like let's say for example you have 10 bolts that you want to sell, you can click auto select similar, and that'll select all the bolts at once. In this case, we just have the one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh and make sure I'm up to date on what the cheapest price is here. So 13,999. So here I have my offer, and here's what I want for that offer. So to keep it simple, we're going to avoid barter trades. This whole bottom panel is for barter trades. That's where you can trade the bolts for something else. We're just going to avoid that entirely to keep it simple. I want to refresh one more time, and I'm going to put my item for the cheapest price because I just want to sell it quick. I don't really care how much I make on it. So we're going to sell it for 1 ruble less than this guy, for example. Click add. So here's my offer. Bolts for 12,999 rubles. And to put it up on the flea market, I'm going to be charged this amount. So what we do is place offer, and if we refresh again, there's our offer right there at the top. And there we see it sold pretty quick. So once it sells, you'll get a message from Ragman. It'll say here your bolts was bought by whoever bought it, and then you get an incoming package, and there's your rubles. So with this guide, I did want to keep it pretty simple, so we'll try to keep it as short as possible. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it down in the comments, ask in the Discord, or find me live on Twitch. All the links are going to be down in the description. Any suggestions you have for videos, please leave them down below. And if you like the content, please do like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It does mean a lot. And thanks again for watching.